Hello and welcome back to another video. So the wind and rain is back with a vengeance, so that's why I'm starting off inside here today anyway. But today's video, to be honest, there's just going to be a few bits and pieces. It'll probably be done over a few days because I just will have a few bits and pieces throughout the week, moving cattle, topping and other bits and pieces. But the first thing I want to start off with today is here behind me. So I was sent out some lick buckets by Agritech, so thank you very much for that. So I got some Thrive for the yearlings, garlic licks and fertility licks, which will be great. It's something that we've wanted to try out for a good while. So Dad was absolutely delighted to get them now, but I am a bit apprehensive just because, look, we had the TB and I have seen a badger in the trail camera I set up. So, you know, I'm just a bit reluctant to leave the licks out on the ground at night time because you don't know what's going to be sticking their heads into it. So I was trying to think of how to raise them or something to put them into that the cattle won't destroy, basically, because I have messers, let's just put it that way. So I saw a couple of stands online, but I just honestly could not see them staying standing. Maybe they would, but they were a little bit pricey anyway. So a lot of farms will have things lying around, you know, like old drums and things like that, but we're just not that kind of farm. I suppose it's because we don't really have machinery, so we don't accumulate that kind of stuff. So I didn't really have anything lying around. I was thinking, could Dad make something out of timber? But then I was walking around Aldi and I spotted these. Well, I spotted smaller ones actually, but I measured them and they were just too narrow for the lick bucket. But then I came across these and there was actually a few euro knocked off them, so all the better. And they're perfectly big enough. So what the plan will be is I will cut it around the middle there to make two out of each one, and then the lick bucket will just sit into it. So basically the badger can stand up on it if it wants, but it's not going to be able to get its head into it and down onto the lick bucket unless it's a very agile badger, which I don't think they tend to be. So that will be the first job today. So I will use all four because I'll use the fertility and the garlic one for the cows, and I'll use the Thrive and the garlic one for the yearlings. So they'll be put to good use, and hopefully it works out. We'll see how straight I can cut them and stuff. And look, I'll take off the taps at the bottom there and stuff. But I think it'll be a decent job anyway, and it'll just give me a bit of peace of mind in the evening time. So look, I'll get Dad and we'll get stuck in. Now, this is what it looks like when it's cut in half. So obviously one side was the base and the other one was the top of what was the water butt. So the next thing we did was try and figure out how to secure that down. Dad spotted these out of the side of his eye, and they're old pins where the tops just came off. So I'm now drilling holes just so that we can fit those in to secure these down so that the cattle don't lift them or move them. So I didn't want them too high because I was worried they'd be scratching themselves off them, and I don't want anyone poking themselves in the eye. So I was out with the angle grinder again, and all I'm doing here is cutting them down to size basically so that they are lower than the lick bucket once they're put into the ground. And you'll see the flat side is the side that will drive in to the ground to secure it. Now I'm back out this evening after work. Ignore me if I look like a zombie. I was up at 4 o'clock this morning to go to work, but I was able to finish up a bit earlier, which suits me fine because I need to get the fertiliser out, because I'd say overnight, maybe tonight, could be the last bit of rain we get here. And we seem to have some sunny, dry weather for the foreseeable after that, which is fantastic. So we were only waiting 5 or 6 days for the silage, which won't be too bad. I'd say we'll probably cut the 30th of May will be the day, which look is absolutely grand, a few days later than last year. But it's fine. I'm going to get some 18/6/12 out on 2 of the grazing fields. And then I'm going to go up and get the topper on the 390 and put it on it. Actually, damn it, I thought it was on it, but I have the forks on it. Never mind, I'll put the topper on, and I'm just going to top the bit out here behind the parents' house because it is just full of weeds now at this stage. They have it well grazed down. So that is me for the evening, so I will get going. Now I've this field done here. I threw on the GPS, and it's very handy for fields like this because in here I don't spread fertiliser and everything, because in some parts the rushes are just really thick, grass doesn't come there, so I skip those parts instead of wasting the fertiliser in it. But that can be very hard to keep track of, so I like to put on the GPS, especially in a field like this, because I can just stop it and start it, and it knows what I've covered and where I should start again and whatnot. Also this time I actually changed up what I'm doing, because I found on the last rotation with the guys here, by the time they got up to the top half of this field, the grass was just too strong for them. And to be honest, I had the same issue last year, but I just didn't really cop it. So what I've done here now is I've given it a heavier cover down here. And then once I get just above halfway, I turned the dial down and I just spread it lighter, because obviously the cattle will, you know, be down here first, and I strip graze it up. So there could be almost 7 days in the difference between down here and up there, and it can make all the difference when we have the weather for growing grass. So we'll see if that works. I'm also going to bring the topper in here. Dad will kill me because he is an anti-topper. But there's a load of thistles up there and a lot of just heavy grass that they didn't eat. So I'm literally just going to top that patch there, in the hope that grass will come again and they will actually eat that grass instead of, you know, they never eat around the thistles really. So that is what I'm going to do. I'll spread the rest of this in the other field, grab the topper, and yeah. now that's the other bit of topping there done as well behind me. So the 2 small bits are done. Yeah, as I said, I was just trying to get the thistles there. As you can see, all the rushes are still there, but as I said, Dad is anti-topping. So yeah, and look, to be fair, the cows are out of here maybe 4 days, and the grass there's grass there again already. It's fantastic. So hopefully now with a bit of 18-6-12, it'll absolutely fly it, and we won't be under any pressure for the rest of the summer, we hope, especially now with the silage being cut, and fingers crossed we get plenty of bales, so we only need a small second cut. But happy to get that done. I reversed in under the trees as well, because with my new bigger tractor it's not as easy to get in there, but it was absolutely grand. There's a few drops of rain there now. I think this is the last rain before we get the heat, so I couldn't have timed that any better, to be honest. It was just ideal timing with the way work panned out and everything. So I must fly now, give the 2 lots of cattle grass, and I'm done. But I think I'll leave this video here anyway, with that nice backdrop. Just ignore the rushes. And hopefully next up will be a silage video. So thanks again for watching. If you liked it, give me a like, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Thank you.